it's Armin. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, I hope you stick around. Don't forget to hit subscribe down below as well as the notification bell so you can be told when I'm making a new video. Today, I am doing a spoiler-filled book talk for Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Last Hours trilogy. It just came out. I read it, I finished it a few days ago, and I had to take an extended period of time to process this book. I am filming this today because I don't want to miss out on all of the reviews and vlogs that are being posted. I have not fully processed and I have a lot of thoughts and it's probably going to be very rambly, but I figured if I don't film this now, I just won't end up filming it. So here we are. Once again, this will have very many spoilers for this book. If you've not read this book yet, what are you doing? Go read this book, come back and watch this video so we can cry about it together. I am a little sad that I did not vlog this book, but I literally just could not stop reading and bring myself to record anything. I felt like I was taking away from the reading experience if I kept stopping and filming my reaction in the sense of putting it in a vlog. I was texting all of my friends very angry notes constantly about the contents of this book, but I did not vlog, unfortunately. But without further ado, here is my little book talk. So I guess I'll start at the end and work my way backwards because what was that ending? I am going to put this book down before I hit myself in the face. Literally, I cannot believe that she ended the book on that cliffhanger with Matthew and Cordelia running off to Paris right after Cordelia saw James with Grace. It was all a big misunderstanding, and I think misunderstandings are my least favorite trope in books. I cannot stand them. They give me maximum angst and it gives me so much pain to read, and yet I love it when it happens because it makes me feel so much. But I'm not gonna say I love it. I hate it. I hate that this happened. I cannot believe that she left us like this and we're gonna have to wait a whole year for this to be resolved in some way. This is literally what happened in the Infernal Devices. This is what happened in the Dark Artifices with the whole misunderstanding ending the book, and then you have to wait a whole year for them to resolve it. Last time this happened, I had to reread the entirety of the Infernal Devices and then part of the Mortal Instruments to make myself cope. But also, I have school right now, and I cannot just take time to reread an entire trilogy and a half to cope with this book hangover. Literally, James going off on Grace for 2 pages was the most satisfying thing ever, and then we don't even get to sit with it because of what happens at the end. I cannot, I have not processed. I'm just gonna be sitting here saying I cannot for the next 10 minutes. Anyways, I've calmed myself down slightly and now we'll move on to some of the other stuff. I think Chain of Iron was very much a character-driven novel. Obviously there was a plot. It was a murder mystery type plot. I loved it. It hooked me, but at the same time there was a lot more in terms of character development, especially with characters that we didn't get that with in the first book, and I absolutely loved it. It was so it was so engaging to read about some of these characters, minus Grace. I did not appreciate her character development. I don't want to feel pity for Grace, and I will get to that in a moment. But anyways, first of all, we have Matthew, and we finally get Matthew's backstory and the reason why he hates himself so much, and it just hurts you. It just stabs you in the heart with a knife because he blames himself for the death of his unborn sister, and he is literally drinking himself to death because he cannot bear the thought of it and the fact that he did that. And it's just so awful because he can't even tell anyone about it because he thinks everyone's gonna hate him. But thankfully he tells Cordelia, and I hope it helped just a tiny little bit at least, because he should have somebody to whom he can spill his guts, basically. But also, I don't know how I feel about the whole thing with Matthew and Cordelia and that potential for relationship, because I need it to be with James. I don't feel comfortable with the idea that Matthew is just a little bit too much like Elias, and it's hinted at a few times where Cordelia is having trouble reconciling the fact that Matthew reminds her a little bit of her father and his alcoholic tendencies, and it hurts because obviously they seem to have different reasons for their alcoholism, but Matthew is getting to a dangerous point in his alcoholic behavior, and it is not good for him, and I want him to, be able to recover and not get to the point that Elias was at, where he's actually hurting everybody around him with his behavior. And I don't think that Cordelia getting with Matthew is a good setup, because I feel like it's just gonna be her trying to fix Matthew, and that's not good for anybody. But I have gotten woefully off of topic, so let's get back to that. Next up, Alastair. This is now an Alastair fan account. I'm just gonna rename my channel to Alastair fan account and only post anything about Alastair because we stand Alastair on this channel. In book 1, he was a little bit, maybe a little bit more than a little bit unbearable, but in book 2, he's coming to terms with his cultural identity. He's got black hair again, he's, you know, speaking Persian, he's doing all of the things, and it's wonderful. I love him growing into himself. He drops Charles like he should because Charles doesn't deserve him, and him and Thomas finally get their little heart-to-heart, and I love it. The ending was a little bit, they need to resolve this situation in the next book, which I think they will resolve it, but I'm not going to get into theories in this video. So I really hope they fix that. I want them to get together because that would be great for both of them. We love Thomas on the channel too, the very tall man, love him. But literally, Alastair is just, he's being such a great older brother, and you really get a sense of how much he has struggled and why he did what he did when he was growing up. He found himself in really difficult positions and he was trying to do the best he can, and that didn't always come off as the best that he could do to the people around him, and it really sucks because he was doing the best he could, and it just, it's such like a tough situation to be in when he had to hide his father's alcoholism from Cordelia to protect her and make sure that she had a father figure like he never had. And I cannot wait for him to also be a fantastic older brother to his new younger sibling, and it's just gonna be, my heart just like warm and fuzzy, but like also really feeling for Alastair because he did not deserve all of that hardship, and he got it, and he tried to do what he could, and I just want all of the Merry Thieves to forgive him for what he did, which is awful, of course. That doesn't excuse anything, but like, bullying is a difficult situation to be in and be on the other side of, and he did what he thought he needed to do to not be bullied anymore, and it wasn't the best course of action in terms of, you know, being kind to people, but it was just, it wasn't great. It wasn't a great time. But I really want them to be able to forgive him and move past that, especially Matthew, because the others, you know, they don't really have anything personal. Thomas is already sort of forgiving him, I guess. And it's just Matthew right now, and it's kind of tough because I can't even say like Matthew needs to forgive him because Matthew has his own reasons for blaming Alastair for also the death of his younger sibling, and that's not an easy thing to get past, I guess. So next up is Grace. I don't want to pity Grace. I hate Grace. I understand a little bit more about where she's coming from, and that was the purpose of those chapters we get from her perspective. That doesn't mean I like her anymore. She is still, words I cannot say on this channel, and she still has terrible timing with interrupting James and Cordelia right before he told her how he felt. I cannot believe, and she would do such a thing with the bracelet, and I need her to just, you know, be strong and get away from Tatiana because there are so many people who are willing to help her, and she just will not see it because she's so trapped by her stepmother. And I really feel for her, I do, but at the same time I don't want to. Like, I don't want to feel like that, and I'm thinking that, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen this anywhere, I'm just making assumptions. I feel like she's gonna be on the 3rd cover, and I don't want that to happen because I think she's gonna get some kind of redemption arc, and she's gonna get with Christopher because that's what I'm seeing set up here, and I don't know. I know how I feel about that. I don't like it because I don't like Grace, but I guess I should blame Tatiana more than I should blame Grace. And that is my segue into the whole discussion of villains, Belial versus Tatiana. Belial needs to just leave. Like, they stabbed him in the first book. Can he go? Now I'm seeing he needs 3 wounds. He got one in book 1, he got one in book 2 because he won't leave. Now he's gonna have to get one in book 3. Cordelia is just gonna have to stab him all over again, and it's just gonna be like the same villain over and over again. I'm kind of tired of him. Also, with these big supernatural villains, I just don't feel the same sense of urgency because they are so big and powerful that I'm just like, okay, I cannot rationalize this. Like, you're just evil. You're doing all the stuff you want to do because you're evil. And then Lilith showed up, and I'm like, you're also evil. This whole like cosmic chessboard game is like really out of my scope of okay, it's just really out of my scope of understanding, and I'm just not bothered enough to care Whereas you have villains like Tatiana and Grace, where Tatiana is like basically just evil, but she has reasons. She literally lost like her whole family, and she is just externalizing all of this blame on people when it's really her own fault for like killing her son, because she got involved with all of the demon stuff, and if she had just done it the right way, he wouldn't have died. But anyways, we're not here to place blame on anybody. I'm just gonna say I hate Tatiana. She is a real villain out here, and I find that I can hate her a lot more than I can hate Belial, even though he is like the cosmic force taking advantage of her. She's doing all of that of her own accord. She has that free will, and she's choosing evil. And Grace is just following along behind her. I know that she craves love and affection, but you ain't gotta get it with Tatiana. You gotta go somewhere else for that, and you had a lot of it. You know, you had all of these options, but you're still going back to Tatiana, and I'm just like, speaking of villains, Malcolm is here, and I was not expecting the amount of Malcolm backstory that we're getting. Grace really messed things up throughout generations. The way she revealed Annabelle's death to Malcolm really just messed him up. And now, literally like 300 years later, we have all of the Blackthorns suffering because of Grace's actions. So I'm just like, Grace, why you gotta do what you do, you know? But Malcolm, I'm tempted to say this is like recycling plots, because like we already know what happened with Malcolm and Annabelle, but I guess that's the point of a prequel. But like I didn't realize that was the prequel we were getting here, so I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that we're getting a lot more of Malcolm and Annabelle's story than I thought we were gonna get. I didn't think we were gonna get any of it, and at first I thought it was a cute little Easter egg, and now we're really delving deep into his descent into necromancy, so I'm just like, okay, Lucy, make better decisions, child. She's just like doing things, she's growing, you know, but I don't know if she's growing or if she's just like, you know, I don't even know what she's doing, so I'm not gonna get into that. And I guess since I have practically descended into just incoherent sentences at this point, I'm just gonna make random statements now. I absolutely love the adult TID characters, the Infernal Devices characters in this specific book, but now in this series. I don't know if I mentioned, but I reread Chain of Gold before I read Chain of Iron, and I loved it so much more the second time. The first time, I was like, I hate Chain of Gold. I can't believe that such an anticipated read was so disappointing. There were so many fight scenes for no reason. I don't even know what I was saying, to be completely honest, but like, I loved it. Like, I am just gonna look at all those tabs. Wow, I had a great time reading Chain of Gold the second time around. So like the past 2 weeks has just been me in the Shadowhunter universe, just like loving it, you know, loving my time there, and also hating Cassandra Clare for doing what she does to my little heart. I can't take it. But yeah, Chain of Gold was a really good time, and Chain of Iron was like, wow. Her mind, I just can't get over these characters. I love them so much. But in the first book, I know the first time I read it, I felt weird reading the Infernal Devices characters suddenly adults, you know? But now it's really cute. I love their dynamic. I love that they're grown up, but like they still retain, you know, their personalities as children, but obviously as adults, and you can see how they've grown, how they've, you know, adapted, and it's just, I love it so much. Can somebody please tell me what the name of that demon was that Will was so enthusiastic to chase after that one wedding? Because I cannot for the life of me remember. I feel like it's relevant, and maybe it's just something random, but I just want to know if it was a reference to something. Please tell me down below. Also, James, I used to hate James because I was like, can you just take off the bracelet and come to your senses? Why do you have to do Cordelia like this? You know, like, why are you hurting her like this? Literally, you were such an idiot. Please get over yourself. But James in Chain of Iron, oh my goodness, he is the blueprint when he's not wearing the bracelet. Like the 2 pages where he's not wearing the bracelet, he is like ultimate Shadowhunter man. And even when he is wearing the bracelet, there's like 5 seconds where he's like actually conscious, you know, like not living his bracelet half-life, and he is like doing things that are literally amazing, like decorating an entire house for Cordelia in the most perfect way. He learned a whole language for her as a wedding present for a fake marriage. What if it was a real marriage? What would he have done then? Like, I cannot believe he literally taught himself Persian. I'm crying just thinking about it. Imagine if somebody learned your mother tongue for you as a wedding present and then gave you a globe and said, I wanted to give you the world. I cannot take this. My little heart cannot take this. Anyways, moving on before I start sobbing over James. Jessie in this book wow, just banger tweets. Like, I could tweet everything Jesse said and it would be like a hit because he said, "I am yours to command, sir." Okay. Okay, Lucy, you done good. Like, okay. She said, I don't like any of these living guys. I'm just gonna go for the one who's dead. And I'm not complaining. I mean, he knows what he's doing. Also, the domesticity between all of the characters. I love all of their little domestic scenes where they're all just chilling in James and Cordelia's new house or in the Devil Tavern or wherever the heck they're chilling, and they're just having a good time and bantering and, like, is that a word? Bantering, conversing, something like that, and it's just such a fun time. And every time Christopher is surprised and he says, "What ho," I lose it. I literally lose it. He's the only one who says that and I can't take it. It's so fun. I love it. Overall, I absolutely loved Chain of Iron. I absolutely loved my reread of Chain of Gold. I bumped it up to 5 stars. That's how much I loved it. And of course I gave this one 5 stars. And yeah, I kind of wish I'd vlogged, but also I'm glad I didn't. If I kept talking, I would talk for another hour and a half. Like, that's a minimum. So I'm gonna cut it off right here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below if you've read Chain of Iron. I sincerely hope that you did read it before you watch this video, but let me know all your thoughts down below. If you agree, disagree, what did you like, what did you love, what did you dislike? Why did I end it with that? Anyways, let me know down below all your thoughts. And as always, don't forget to hit subscribe so you can be told when I make a new video, because hopefully I will be posting new content very soon. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye. How rude. I set a timer so my camera wouldn't turn off and it went off on me. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye bye.